All right, I don't know if you guys can, if anybody's even here at this point, because I gotta get reset up. But let me take a look. Come on. Ugh. I'm already signed in. There we go. Oh, Frogman's here. I see that. All right. Well, let me go back to the overhead. And now that I'm logged in enough, we'll see what we can do here. All right. Let me move this over to here. And start this up. Yep, there it goes. It is starting up. I gotta change the source on this one though. Okay, there we go. Come on. I think this is it. There we go. All right. I know you guys can't see this, but unfortunately it's the only thing I can do because I only have one mouse right now. And let me do window key. And I need to go to, oh, that's right. I brought up GPU-Z, but that's not really what I'm looking for. What I really need to do is I need to update the need to update the driver, but I wanted to make sure that Tech Power Up is still working. And so now I'm trying to remember if I actually put on here the NVIDIA. I did not. I just have the NVIDIA control panel. Dang it. Would have been so much easier if I didn't. Or if I had just put on the update thingy, the update app, but I didn't. So, okay. So then I need to go to Chrome. Oh, not that Chrome. All right, hold on. Always a lot easier to do this when. All right, escape. Let's see here. Yeah, I didn't think that was going to do anything. I'm trying to. Okay, there we go. Oh, that's why, because I was in that app. All right, NVIDIA drivers. Oh, right. I have no internet. Okay. Let me see if I can get this to work. not sure this is plugged in on the other end, but I'm about to find out. It lit up, so it must be plugged in on the other end. All right. I have internet connection. Yeah, I was looking to see if that one had wireless, but it does not. All right. Almost there. There we go. All right. So we're going to go 5090. You know what, actually. Delete. There we go. Now we'll just do this. Okay. Oh, there we go. What the heck? So frustrating. I hit the space bar, but arrows are not work. Oh, arrow worked that way. That is so weird. Okay. GeForce. We're getting there. Not notebooks, but 50 series. And then not the 5090D, 5090, although it's going to be the same driver anyway. And I'm currently in Windows 10, so find. Do I have an internet speed limitation? The only limitation I have is 350 up. I mean, in every case, I don't have an issue, but I'm going to get this out of the way before I break it. Don't need to break the 5090 before I install it. That would be a bad thing. All right. Need to tab down. I don't want the studio driver. I definitely don't want the studio driver. Why would it give me the studio driver? Oh, because I went past it somehow. Oh. Yeah, this is the one I want. 572.83. And download. There it goes. See if it'll just let me hit enter or space when it pops up. Find out in a second. Come on. Oh, no. It didn't do it. It just downloaded it again. Come on. It won't go over to the downloads. Dang it. All right. Let's do this. There we go. Now, there we go. There we go. That's what I wanted. Downloads. There we go. All right, now I'm installing it. I know you guys can't see any of that, but it's fun trying to see if you can actually use a computer without a mouse, without having had much practice in it in a very long time. Oh, did it? Rented GPUs on Clore plummeted today? Interesting. Tomas said, believe me, I used to host a lot with Clore. Setting Clore is easy, but have drivers working with 5090 is a challenge. I exploited Chat GPT a lot. Yes, I know that can be a bit of a challenge. All right. Okay. Okay, I guess just keep hitting enter and it'll finally install it. All right, let me go back up on chat, see what I might have missed. It's set up a little bit differently. I don't have my live studio feed set up since I did this like really quick. So I have a YouTube chat within OBS, which gives me a little bit less information, but it's fine. It's fine. Switching into live chat just to make sure I'm not missing anybody. Yeah, second stream one night. This is kind of just a hangout stream. Like I said, tinkering away is all set put it. I'm going to throw Vast at it, but right now I have it on a computer that had Salad on it. And so right now, the first thing I want to do is just make sure that the GPU has all the ROPs. So the first thing I got to do is install the new driver, so that when I do put the 5090 in here, that it sees it. Then what I need to do is obviously take the existing GPU out, but more than that, I have to basically put in a whole new power supply. So that's going to take a little bit of time. But hey, it'll be something you guys get to see as opposed to the screen that you can't even see. Although I could see, no, I can't because I usually use that cable for that. All right, screen went blank, which is a good sign. Tells me that, yep, it was installing the driver. Almost done. And it is done. Next. Next. Done. Actually, no, do not enable the NVIDIA overlay. Okay. Oh, interesting. Well, that's just of this. That's not a big deal. All right, relaunch. Had a new version of the NVIDIA app, which is weird since I didn't even have it on this computer and I just downloaded it and then it's telling me I got a new version. Kind of annoying. All right. So that's all done. So now I need to shut this sucker down. Shut down. It is shutting down as we speak. Now that I think about it, I could have actually shown you all that. I wasn't thinking about it because I have remote desktop on this. I could have just done that. Didn't think of it. But when I do bring it back up, I will be able to show you the ROPS that way. So I'm going to unplug everything just so that I'm not tugging on anything. Turn the power off. Pull the plug. And get my screwdriver out so I can pull the GPU out. Do that first. There we go. All right. And there it is. There we go. Beautiful 30. Here, let me actually go to the big screen so you guys can see what it is. This is one of the infamous GPUs. There we go. Beautiful 3060 Ti Founders Edition. One of the ones that Sunflower Mama got 3 of these in one shot during the mining boom. Surprise, surprise. I know I was shocked. That whole thing, for those people that weren't around for then, I'm sure you know how hard it was to get GPUs. And is this, yeah, I was like, this is screwed in. Okay. She was down in Huntsville, and on a lark, I'm like, you know what? Hey, how far are you away from the Huntsville Best Buy? It was like 8:30 in the morning or something. And she's like, I'm actually really close. I'm dropping our son off at work after having after dropping his car off to get some work done. And so basically our son was using his car, or using our car, to get to work. And so he just basically dropped her off at the Best Buy. All right, that's out. And so she went in the first time and got a 3060 Ti. She calls me back and says, "Hey, do you want another one?" I'm like, "Do you think you can get one?" She's like, "I don't know, but I can try." I'm like, "Sure." Goes in, gets another one. You got to remember, she's got nowhere to put this stuff. She's not like she's putting stuff in the car. She's carrying the other ones with her. And so then she's like, "Well, do you want me to try for a third?" I'm like, "Yeah, I don't think they'll give you one, but sure." She goes in. Person in front of her had actually been in there 2 other times or 3 other times already. So he was told, "No, you already have 3. 3 is the limit." And these things have been here so long. So he was told no, but she got up to the front of the line and she managed to get one. But she's like, "Okay, that's it." Because the guy didn't let the other guy get any more. All right, well, we're just going to leave those connected to the power supply then and not worry about that. We're just going to pull them out of the motherboard. Yeah, okay. Let's forget which one. It's this side. Things have been plugged in so long. It can be pretty hard to unplug stuff. Now the good thing is I didn't have too much plugged in. All right, let me scroll back down. Yours are rented on Clore? Is that what you're saying, Automatic Beats? Oh no, it's one piece. It's just, okay, never mind. This is always the fun one to get out. without breaking the connector. Oh, come on. Has it even moved? Like, barely. Jesus. Holy crap, that is tight. This is... out of all the connectors, I wish that there was a better option for this one. All right, so it's up past the latch already. So it's not latched. Ugh. Let's come up a little more. Damn. This is the thing I really hate about the 24-pin power connector. It's almost out. There we go. Hate that one. All right. Power supply is free. Fly, be free. And the one PCIe cable that I was able to get out of the power supply. So of all the Thermaltake GPUs, that power supply, the 850 watt power supply, is actually pretty good. I have no complaints about it. Actually was showing that that one was actually a good one. Oh, I thought that would cut it. It did not. All right, fine. We will use the X-Acto knife. So I got this 1200 watt power supply, and should be able to tear it from there. Yeah, there we go. And if it's the one I think it is, it'll be just like, it'll be basically a Seasonic power supply. Because Seasonic makes, I think, most, if not all, of Asus's power supplies. They're not the prime level, but they're like the next level down. And they're actually, interestingly enough, packaged like exactly the same. Yeah, this is definitely just like my other one. This is definitely manufactured by Seasonic. You can tell by this packaging here. Alrighty. Just like that. And I will plug in, oh, I forgot I didn't even need an extra cable since I had this one. But I will leave that one there for now. I'm going to plug whatever cables I need, which isn't many. Just the motherboard cable, GPU cable, and the CPU cable. That's it. There's one. It's PCIe cable, but that's not the one I'm looking for. I actually look. Am I going to have to use the adapter? No, it's got two 16 pins on it. I just need to find that cable. Oh. Yeah, this is definitely, this is actually very similar to the way the old Seasonic Prime ones were. Okay, so I got that one. Now I need to get the CPU cable. Oh, wait a minute. Why is that cable even exist? They have a 12 pin to a 12 pin. What am I talking about? Yeah. Well, 16 pin to 16 pin, to be honest, but yeah. Why would... That is so interesting. Really interesting that they have the old style that you could even use the PCIe connectors on here. But I'm going to use the 12 pin to 12 pin. And then I have to find the CPU cable. That's PCIe. 12 pin to 12 pin. What is this one? PCIe. CPU. There's CPU. Alrighty. That should be all I need. Now what's interesting in this, it's actually got 2 drives in it. I'll have to figure out which one's which when I go to reboot. I think that this one, the main one, is a 500, and then I put the 1 gig or 1 terabit in that drive. But when I do go to install VAST, I usually like to do it on 1 drive. So I'll just take the 500 out and leave the 10. And I actually have I have a spare 1 terabit over there that I thought I was going to use, but I did not. All right, now I don't have to. So anyway, there's the beauty. I guess I've been going through this. This is where I do need the overhead view. So let me switch back for the overhead view. There we go. That's better. And I want to put that in like so, but I want to plug in the cables first because that will just make things easier. Will it? No, it won't. It won't. I'm going to screw this thing in first. Gonna screw it in first. I think that will make things easier because it's like I've got easy access. It's not like I'm putting it in a case where it's hard to get to. And that is not the right way. I guess it has to go in that way. Yeah, I guess that's fine. It's taking the air, the hot air, but I can't do it any other way. Yeah, that'll work. Right, like so. And grab one of these screws. Okay, where's the hole? There is a hole down there. There we go. Got it in the first hole. And honestly, with this, 1's probably enough. But we'll put 2 in. Tighten that down. All right. That's in there. Now it's in there. All right. Now, let's get the cables in. I'm going to start with the bottom one, which happens to be the graphics card. Yeah, that'll work. I'm probably not as entertaining as Robitech is, but at least I don't ask my audience on how to build a computer. Sorry, I couldn't help myself with that comment. Heard the almighty click. That is what I wanted to hear. I'll put this one in next. Actually, I should put the CPU in next, since I should have put the one side in before I put the power supply in. That would have made a lot easier access to the CPU connector, but I did not. So let's see. CPU A. PSU. There we go. This is PSU. So I'm going to go right. Actually, I'm going to go that down there. And let's see. This should. This one's more of a feel for it. Let me do this. Come on. All right. Let me. Gotta do it with the other phone. All right. Because, yeah, this light is. There we go. Clicked. That one's good. Put that over like so. And then the motherboard cable. These two are for the PSU because they come in and click in two different spots. Which I wish motherboards did it this way. It'd make life so much easier. Okay, I do have that right way. Yeah, I definitely do have that right way. There we go. That one's in. Now I'll plug this one into the motherboard. Come on. Oh, come on. It looks like it's all the way down, but it's not clicked. There, it's clicked. All right. Good there. Now comes the fun part. Putting the GPU in. First time I've had that off. I guess I probably should have looked at that. Make sure it looks good. Which it does. Ugh, bonk. Sorry, I just bonked the camera, guys. And clicked in. All right. Huh. Not too bad. All right. Let me just put one screw in just to hold it in place. And now we can see what happens. And screw in place. Oh, yeah, and of course, helps if you plug in the power to the GPU. Interesting. I don't know if there's a big difference, but I'm not going to risk it. That one said PSU on that side. This one says 600 watts on this side, so I'm going to plug it in the way it's telling me to do it. Glad I caught that. Wonder how many other people make that mistake. Okay, that clicked in. Or whether or not it even matters, I don't know. But again, it's another way that I can tell that. Okay. I didn't hear a click. Okay, I'm going to try this one more time. It's all the way in. Hold on. It's all the way in. I know that. Yep, it's in. All right. Let me turn off my flashlight on my phone. And the only plug that wasn't out was the HDMI. Let's plug that in. Let's plug the network cable in. Upside down. There we go. And power cable. All right, moment of truth. Let's turn around. And lights. Good sign. It's got like an what do you call it? Like an infinity mirror on this side, which is kind of cool. I wonder if I do this. Maybe. No, it's gonna. Yeah, you should kind of see, take a look. Oh, you can't because I got it covered. Let me see if I can scoot this over. You can kind of see it. What it looks like because you can kind of see past the phone. There you go. A little bit better look at it. So, looks kind of cool. Green? All right. Oh, not that. I need the keyboard. There we go. All right. Now, what I need to do, now that I know it's booted up, all right. Got to move it back to my main screen. There we go. All right, now it's on my main screen. And now I can switch it back. So basically what I'm doing is I have it hooked up via USB to my main computer, and then I have the dongle in the other computer. So I'm just using it kind of switch back and forth with the keyboard. Can't do that with the mouse. But, all right. So what I'm going to do. Really? There it is. Since that's already done, you guys don't need to see that anymore. I am going to, as soon as I have logged in, I'm going to move this up to my shared screen that I usually use. Just put it in as a different tab up here. And switch views. There we go. Hey, it's Stumpy. That's just one of the squirrels that we use. All right, so let's do this. Yes. GPU Z, moment of truth. 176. Here, let's do this. No, that's not what I wanted. Display settings. We'll do 150%. You guys can see that now, right? Hell, I'll even go more than that. Doesn't really matter. We'll go 200%. There we go. Minimize that, but you can see 176 ROPS. So I have a good, well, I don't have that problem with my GPU. Bus interface PCIe 6x16 5.0. It's not, it won't run this is a 4.0 board. It will not run a 5.0. But it is a 5090. Sweet. Now I'm not going to do any type of stress testing while it's up here, because I have my main computer running on it, and I've got, I don't know if that's on a job or not, behind me, but yeah, not really a good idea for that. So yeah, and then the rest of it is going to be pretty boring, so I'm probably going to stop it here, but I did want to show you how I was checking to make sure I didn't have a bustimacated GPU with reduced ROPS. So it was Mori, I believe, in the comments of one of my videos, who basically reminded me to check that. So I was pretty happy that she did that. So I did remember to do it. So yeah. So thanks for hanging out with me as I put this thing together. Now I'm going to bring it downstairs and probably load it up down there. I don't know. Maybe I'll load it up here. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. If I load it up, the problem is if I load it up here, it's not going to get the right IP address, as it'll be on the wrong subnet. And I don't want that. Right now, I don't really care because I'm not going to be using this at all. But actually what I could do, which would be kind of fun. Let's start Salad. See if I catch a job. Some hardware is incompatible, which is really kind of funny. So what I usually have to do is uninstall and reinstall, and then it figures it out. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's still saying that. Let me try stopping Salad and reinitializing it and see what happens. Let's do this. Control-Alt-Delete. Task Manager. Salad. End task. End task. Try to get all that out of the way. Make sure it doesn't the Salad Bowl service always restarts itself. But let's see. Nope, now it's looking good. Chop now. Well, look at that. Look at how fast it picked up a job. Let's see what it makes. Because if you look at like what Salad supposedly has been doing, the 59 has been doing crap. I'm really curious to see it. Yeah, it's picking up a job, but how good of a job? Right now, the fans are not spinning. It's cool as a cucumber. So it isn't pulling any power. Actually, let me put GPU-Z on top. You can see it's downloading. You can see it's downloading at a pretty good speed. I've done it where in fact, in this particular case, I will not have this, throttled. So it could just saturate if it wanted to up to one gig. But typically it starts out slower and then speeds up. All right, well, I'm waiting for that. Let me see what else we got here. Yeah, the 5090 is basically the same size as the 4090. It is not. It's a 3.5 slot card. It's interesting. You're not wrong. When you look at it, especially on a screen or something, it does look smaller, and I think it's more like the rounded edges that's giving you that impression. That would be my guess. Other than that, it might be a little bit longer, but I don't think so. But I didn't literally compare it to another Zotac. I could have restarted. I restarted just the salad, and that seemed to do the trick. Oh, look at that. Oh, there we go. I'm really curious to see what it ends up paying out, or what the estimated next hour will be. Let's see if it actually still thinks it's a 3060 Ti. All right, let me go back to the comments. Yes, Tomas, it is a 5090. I may have already been this high. Let's see. So only one driver is working on Ubuntu with 5090. That's 570.133. I appreciate you letting me know that. Obviously, right now I'm just doing this, and I'm going to rewrite over all of this. But I am curious, because if this ends up coming out good, I'll probably just leave it on this for a while. But we'll see. I'm in no rush to get it onto Vast. Yeah, 3000 series, totally easy to get set up with Clore. Yeah, the 5090 has been challenging just because I feel like NVIDIA kind of pulled an AMD on this launch, that they weren't ready with drivers. Yeah, it's funny because actually, I don't know if it was Swamp7 or CryptoCrag that said it. One of the two said, and I'm pretty sure it was Swamp7, said that, yeah, every time you're rented, I'm not. So, you have a good week, I have a bad week. And whenever I have a good week, you have a bad week. Let's see. Yeah, Bleach Salad is actively 0 over the next 24 hours. Well, yeah, estimate is 0 because it's still downloading the job. It takes a while. I don't know why, but it starts out slow. And I think when it gets to, if you're downloading a big job, one that's 32 gig, when you get to 10 or 12, it speeds up. All of a sudden it'll start downloading 500 to 700. Will be the speed. But the beginning, for some reason, I don't know if it's pulling from a different server or what, but it seems to take a while to speed up. But I'm curious to see what this does. So anyway, anybody got any questions for me? So, one thing I will say, so one of my, I was going through this, I really want to get And it's not because I'm trying to be a copycat of King. Definitely not trying to do that. But he always kind of makes me think. So he made a huge investment into 4090s. And he's making about $200 a day. And I'm like, $200 a day? That's some life-changing money there. I mean, let's put it this way. If I was making $200 a day and I could rely on that for the rest of my life, I could retire. That's retiring type of money. I'm not looking to retire yet, but if you're not retiring, that means you're putting that money away. At least that's the way I look at it. I'm not going to change the way I live, but I'll be putting that money away so that I'll have a more comfortable retirement. Assuming, obviously, retirement's not guaranteed to anybody. I could die tomorrow for that matter. But got a plan for it. Definitely got a plan for it. All right, let's see. What speed are we at? Still around 40 or so, 36, 31, 30. Yeah, between 30 and 40 is what it looks like. And I think part of it is because it jumps between these two jobs, the host process and the salad bowl service. And it's starting to pick up there for a second. It was around 60. But yeah, this could definitely take a while because I have a feeling it's got to get up to 32. I did it again. I want to leave that up there. I want to leave this in front of that. Move this over to here. And put that in front of that. There we go. Oh, you know what? I want to look at sensors. Memory temperature's 52. GPU temperature's a little under 40. Memory clock's at 50. Bus interface load. That's kind of interesting. Actually, loading up the VRAM is what it's doing. So it's not pulling much power right now. So the board power draw is 20 and just the GPU itself is only at like 8 watts. PCI slot power is 6.4 watts. 16-inch or 16 pin power is 14 watts. Oh yeah, okay. So PCIe slot 16 pin power adds up to the board power. Yeah, those two. So this is the number we need to be looking at is the board power. So let's jump it around a little bit because as it loads the memory. Memory used 1.2 gigs so far. Though it doesn't look like it is loading anymore. I wonder if the job died. Yep, job died. I hate it when it does that. All right, well, we're going to reboot this since it wasn't exactly in a nice mode to make sure that that's not the issue. Well, actually, before I do that, let me stop chopping. I have a feeling that's part of the problem with the 5090s right now on Salad, because they're rented, you know, how much they're rented is really, really low right now. But I'm going to restart this. And we're going to try to see what happens again. All right. I do limit it when I am running Salad if I have to. When I was running a lot of Salad, yeah. I didn't limit it that much. I limited it to 200 to 250, somewhere in that range. But yeah, I've got 2 gig down, and that's really what it was saturating, was down, not up. And But yeah, I mean, I had times I had a 2 gig line and I was using 1.7 gig. Like not, it wasn't unusual. Let's put it that way. You know, VAST doesn't use anywhere near that amount. All right. Let's do it again. Salad. And then let's chop. See if it picks something up. But yeah, that was unfortunate that it did that. Very unfortunate. You know, I don't even know how many people are even here. Moria, how you doing? I was actually just talking about you. In fact, let me bring it up. And then I'll let you see the number. 176. We're good. 176 ROPS. So again, thanks for reminding me to check that to make sure I didn't have a lemon. Shides, how you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, we're just kind of hanging out. I was just basically rebuilding. Well, I'm pointing at this. Let me, since you guys haven't been here. So I just rebuilt this. I took out the 3060 Ti. I took out that power supply because it was only 850 watts. So this one's a 1200 watt. So plenty for this 5090. And yeah, I'll be probably loading this up. I don't know. I was debating whether to leave it on salad to see if it actually would get anything. But according to what I'm seeing right now is that it's in low demand. It's not even moderate demand right now. But it got me a little excited when I first started chopping and it immediately tried to catch a job. I was like, that's cool. But no. But no. All right, hang on a second. Now I'm going to scroll back up because somebody gave me what driver I needed to use when I do load. 570.133. Got it. Who was that? Tomas. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. But I appreciate you letting me know that. 133 is the one I need to remember. I knew it was 570 something, but I didn't know it was 133. Because I don't think that's the latest. I think the latest was having some problems. But things will, I think, calm down. I will say that 5090s are making especially if they're verified, they're making a good buck. If they're not verified, they're making more than a non-verified 4090, but they're making probably a little bit less than a verified 4090 or about the same as a verified 4090. So, yeah, I will not be looking to get any jobs, any on-demand jobs, while at least until it's verified. I want to make sure this one gets verified. But yeah, so obviously there's not much power going through it, so this is cool as a cucumber. But like I said, this is one of the top of the line. This type of cabling comes out of a Seasonic factory. It's a very, very good power supply. So I have confidence. But it'll be nice. I mean, I'm hoping that this will make about $8 a day. So I did the math. You do $8 a day, and I'm currently making about 100 a day. Well, when most things are rented, it's about 100. It's a little bit under 100. So do 12 times 8. Hold on. 12 times 8. Yeah, that was what it was. It's $96. So I guess I would need a little bit more than that. I think it was actually a little bit more than that. I was looking at 36 cents an hour after 6 cents for power per hour. Because at 575.575 times 11 cents, which is about what I average throughout the year, is a little bit more than 6 cents, but I basically took it to 6 cents. So 42 cents is what I estimated I could make, pretty consistently at this point. And so if you look at 0.36 times 24, it's $8.64. Then multiply that times 12, and you're at 103. So that's basically how I came up with that 12. So we'll see. We'll see. Would like to add another 8 or 12 GPU rig. I don't even know if there's a motherboard out there, or I don't know. Probably will look into getting an Octo server, but I probably will look for one that only has one processor, not two. It's great if you're using like their GPUs, because if you're using their GPUs, then they're narrower. But if you're going to get ones that can be easily resold, so you get the retail ones, then they're going to take up dual slots. So you're only going to be able to fit 6. So I'll probably get 2 6 GPU machines. I certainly would not suggest getting or trying to put 12 Founders Editions in one of those and running them in a by 8 configuration. They're going to blow heat into each other. It'll be so hot. So hot. What CPU am I running? It's just a 5600X, 6 core, 12 thread, AMD. Yeah, the GPU definitely looks like a beast. The rest of it, not so much. This, yeah. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I already answered that. And does not look like I'm going to get a salad job, unfortunately. But that's okay. That's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. Alrighty, guys. Well, I think unless you guys have any more questions, I am going to call it a night. I don't even know how long I've been streaming for after the... So by the way, what I ended up doing was I was getting the keyboard dongle out, and I put my hand on the other side of the computer, and there's a reset switch over there. So I hit the reset switch. And that's why the computer went off, and that's why the stream died. So sorry about that, guys. But hey, at least a number of you came back. I do appreciate it. And I will see you guys again, hopefully, next Sunday. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit a like on the way out. Maybe even a subscribe. And as always, no tabs were harmed in the making of this live stream. Good night, guys.